The economy is developing, GDP is growing, and unemployment in Russia is at a record low of 2.3%, Putin claims. However, analysts from the Institute for the Study of War highlight that the Kremlin's dictator is once again misleading his citizens.
Putin failed to note that unemployment rates are likely at a record low for youth, as many young Russian men are fighting in Ukraine, and that Russia is suffering significant labor shortages, from a report by the Institute for the Study of War.
Contrary to Putin's assertions, Elvira Nabiulina, the governor of Russia's central bank, warns of challenging times ahead. She indicated that the key interest rate, currently at 21%, might rise to 25% by December 2024.
Russia is diving headlong into stagflation, the worst possible economic scenario. Economic stagflation combined with high inflation. No one knows how to escape it. Fighting stagnation means injecting money, but that fuels inflation. Fighting inflation means tightening the money supply, worsening stagflation. It's like taking both a laxative and a sedative at the same time while trying to feel great.
Russia's already dire economic situation may worsen due to new U.S. sanctions. On December 4th, the U.S. Department of the Treasury announced sanctions targeting an illegal financial network that helped Russian elites use digital assets to bypass sanctions. 5 individuals and 4 organizations tied to TGR Group were blacklisted.
Through the TGR Group, Russian elites sought to exploit digital assets, in particular US dollar-backed stablecoins, to evade US and international sanctions, further enriching themselves and the Kremlin. Bradley T. Smith, acting Under Secretary for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence, on the US Department of the Treasury website.
Military cooperation between Russia and Iran may also be affected by sanctions. According to Reuters, 35 Iranian organizations and vessels involved in transporting illegal oil are now under U.S. sanctions. These measures target Iran's key economic sectors to limit its funding for nuclear programs, missile production, drones, and support for regional terrorist groups. The European Union is seeking to weaken ties between Moscow and Beijing. German Minister of Foreign Affairs Annalena Baerbock recently visited China.
The Russian president is not only destroying our European peace order through his war against Ukraine, but is now dragging Asia into it via North Korea. My Chinese counterpart and I have therefore discussed in depth that this cannot be in China's interest either. Annalena Baerbock, Federal Minister for Foreign Affairs of Germany, during the visit to Beijing.
Despite China's official claims of neutrality regarding Russia's war against Ukraine, Beijing continues to support Moscow. Bilateral trade between the two nations reached a record $240 billion in 2023, making China Russia's largest supplier of goods. The European Union is considering sanctions against Chinese companies supplying drones to Russia, as reported by Bloomberg. Secondary sanctions already imposed by the US have led Chinese banks to sever ties with Russian financial institutions, blacklisted by the US Treasury. Reported by Bastun Katerina Yulia Granovska, UATV News.